Before publishing any Framer site, it's critical that you make your site responsive, so that on any device, your site continues to look and work as expected. In this tutorial, I'm going to give you a crash course guide on making your Framer site responsive. Let's go. So here I have this beautiful looking site in Framer, and it's got all the interactions. It looks super, super great. But the problem is when I actually make this site responsive and bring it down to a smaller screen size, it's a little bit not as nice. So how are we actually going to make this site look better and actually performs really well on all screen sizes? Because even though it looks great on desktop, if it doesn't have that same wow factor on tablet, mobile, or any other size, you're not going to be able to hit the mark. So the first thing to understand about responsiveness inside of Framer is everything happens within breakpoints. Now, breakpoints are different layouts of the same page at different sizes. Essentially, we use breakpoints to create true responsiveness across desktop, tablet, and mobile screen sizes. Now, inside of Framer here, the actual page itself on the canvas is a breakpoint. So if we want to add a new breakpoint, we can just click this little plus here, and you'll see we've got the option to add a tablet breakpoint, a phone breakpoint, or even a custom breakpoint. Now, from my experience, just using a tablet and phone breakpoint will get you there most times. There's rarely a use case for custom unless you want to do something for a bigger screen, which sometimes you do, but again, in most cases, tablet and phone work just fine. So if I actually press on the tablet breakpoint here, essentially what it's going to do is duplicate the desktop breakpoint, but for a tablet size. And this is where we can start to see where things will start to break. Now, if we kind of scroll through this, tablet looks pretty good already. There might be a couple of things here that I want to tweak, but it looks pretty good. But if I actually go to, say, phone here, this is where we'll start to see some issues where things are just going a little bit too high, text is overflowing, there's a few other core issues going on here. Now, the important thing to note about breakpoints is if I make a change on this breakpoint, it's not going to affect other breakpoints. So for example, if I took this section here and if I change this gradient to be a completely different color, you'll notice it's only being affected on that breakpoint. So any changes we make on the properties panel here isn't going to be reflected on another breakpoint. Now, what will be affected on other breakpoints is the actual layer tree itself. So for example, we kind of have this heading text here and then some text here, and then we also have a button here. Now, let's say we take this header layer and this play button and we switch the order on our mobile breakpoint. So for example, we have our text here for our headline, and also we have a sub headline here too, which we can see inside our layers panel. Now these are wrapped together inside a header frame. Now let's say, for example, if I want to disrupt the layer tree on my mobile breakpoint here and actually take this headline text here and let's actually move it completely outside the hero section. So it's still on our page, but the problem is we've actually changed the layer tree and that's going to be affected across all breakpoints. So you can see on my desktop breakpoint now, that headline text layer is actually now outside of my header. So this is just an important thing to note, that we can change properties and styles and a lot of other controls inside a breakpoint. But if we actually start playing around with the layers inside a Framer, then it might actually affect other breakpoints. Now, for example, if we have everything wrapped inside its own stack or frame here, and then if I change the order of these, that's totally fine. It's not going to affect other breakpoints. It's only when we move that layer, frame, or text to another place within our layer tree that you might start to see some issues. So let's just go back here and change this to our green, and let's actually start going through our website here. So what I'm going to do is start at the very top. And to be honest, the trick with trying to get responsiveness working is just to plug and play. When you see things overflowing, you just normally 90% of the time, it's a sizing or positioning issue. So you just want to check these. So for example, here on mobile, it doesn't really make sense to have all this text really quite squished. So I might actually set the width here to be 100%. But then you will notice that the kind of layout here is becoming a little bit whack. So then maybe I'll actually want to change the text size down just a little bit, or change the line height here as well. And then this gap here doesn't necessarily feel super correct, so I might size this in a little bit here too. And even the spacing at the top here. So you'll notice we have this top padding of say 32 pixels. So we might just want to remove that completely. Same thing here, we kind of have a lot of different stuff going on. So I'm going to set the width of the text here to be 100%. And then we kind of have these dividers going on, which are no longer needed. So if I actually delete these from the canvas, you'll notice they no longer show on the page, but they kind of get hidden out of the layer tree. Now, again, this exists still on the canvas. We're just hiding or showing things based on the breakpoint. So if we completely deleted this layer, it wouldn't show anywhere on the website, even our larger breakpoints. But in this case, when we delete a layer from our canvas here on a particular breakpoint that's smaller than, say, a larger breakpoint, then it's just going to hide, not delete. So we probably want to change some of the layout rules here. So we have this logo strip. So we have the positioning of this text here to be absolute. So I might need to change that to be, say, relative, and then set the width to be 100%. And maybe the height can be set to auto. And again, this text feels a little bit too big. So let's actually just shrink this down. And then I might want to add some padding to the left and the right as well, which is usually something you'll need to do, especially if you're using like a container method on larger breakpoints. We have a fixed width. Then on mobile, that's probably going to break. So usually my go-to for responsiveness is to add some left and right padding of about 10 to 15 pixels on each section. Now, another really big issue is text overflowing. You'll get this a lot. Usually anything that overflows is because of the width or height sizing. In this case, we have a fixed width of 900 pixels for the text here. So if I change this to be 100%, you'll see that'll kind of size up a little bit better. Now we have this component here, which is responding just like I expected it to. So all this looks pretty good. Now we also have some issues here. So again, we'll change the width of this text to be 100%. And then these cards are a little bit too squished for my liking. So we might actually set the width of these to be 100%. And we'll do that on all three of them. And then the space between these cards feels like a little bit too much too. So what I might do is actually reduce that gap to be about, say, 20 pixels. Okay, so on this section here, some of these images which have absolute positioning, which is kind of how we want it to be set up, but they're a little bit close to the text here. So we can just kind of resize this for this breakpoint in particular and just kind of put it where it needs to go. So we'll kind of set it here. And you'll notice we kind of have an overflow effect happening here. So I might take the overflow here and set the parent frame to be hidden. Now we also have this collection list here, but as you can tell, it's not looking super great in this sort of horizontal layout. So we'll just change the direction to be vertical. And then inside this cards frame here, everything's starting to overflow because we have a fixed height. So if I set the height to be fit content, it's automatically going to size based on the content itself. And as we keep going, we've got a couple of different issues here with the footer that we'll need to fix too. But as you can see, our site is starting to actually look responsive. So on a smaller breakpoint, our page content itself is actually acting as we expect it to. But if I make this bigger, you will notice that at a certain point, the layout is actually going to change based on the breakpoint. Now, the last thing we need to fix here is actually our navbar and our footers as well. Now, what's different about our navbars and footers is they're actually set up as components. Now, when you're working with components in Framer, how do you actually make these responsive? Well, we essentially use the breakpoint technique as variants inside a component. So for example, on our canvas here, we have our desktop, our tablet, and phone breakpoint, which are essentially variants. And then inside my component here, I could use the exact same technique. So for example, if we called this our desktop variant, we could also create a variant for, say, tablet, which we might want to set the width to be something smaller, like 870 pixels. And then we might also want a breakpoint for mobile. And then say if we set this to be 390 pixels, we can essentially start to replicate a breakpoint style thinking across components. So on our tablet breakpoint, this might look just fine and there might not be any changes that we need to do. But on mobile, we might want to completely change this up. So for example, we have all these links here that we might actually want to say hide. And even this little divider here, we might want to hide. And then we might actually design a state that when somebody actually clicks on a bit of a hamburger menu, that it opens up a drop-down menu. Now, if you want to understand how you can design truly responsive mobile navigation in Framer, I'll leave a link to a tutorial I already have here on the channel. But let's just say for now on our mobile state, so our mobile variants here, we just want the logo plus the contact button. So now when I go back to my canvas here, I can actually select the phone breakpoint, and I'm just going to change the variant here to be mobile. So now you will notice that when I bring this down to my mobile breakpoint, we're actually using that component variant instead for my navbar. And we can do the same thing with the footer. So if we open up the footer component here, again, we could have a tablet breakpoint, which if we set the width to be something a little bit smaller, it's looking pretty good on tablet, but when we do mobile, we're going to have a bunch of different issues. So I'll just set the width to be something a bit smaller. And in this case, we probably want the height to be a little bit more, and maybe we change the direction of these elements here too. So I'll select this stack, make everything vertical, which is the way the world goes when it comes to mobile. And then we might want to actually set the distribute here to be to the start, change the space between. Again, a lot of this is literally just playing around, seeing what actually looks good on different screen sizes. And then again, this sort of like terms and conditions down at the bottom here is having a lot of fun on us. So let's actually change some of the alignment rules here. And under the actual mobile variants here, I'm actually going to set the height to be auto or fit content, just so it's automatically sizing to fit all of our content here. We have a fixed height on our bottom panel, so we'll set that height to be auto. We'll change the distribute to be to the start. I kind of want this designed by A in the insert frame. I kind of want this designed by section to have the distribute to be to the start, so everything's aligned to the left as well. And then we also need to change the space between this element here and this bottom element here. So I'll select the top level here, and then we can just increase that gap ever so slightly. Cool. So now let's preview this again. Let's change this to be a mobile variant. And then we also need to change the height here to be auto as well. And just like that, we now use the right variant inside our mobile breakpoint. And almost like it's magic, we've now made our site fully responsive. And as you can tell, it looks really good on every breakpoint. Again, the really big trick here is just to play. There's no real secret to responsiveness. Yes, there are definitely things that you can do when designing your site in a desktop breakpoint that's going to help you and save you a ton of time when you're actually making your site responsive. A lot of that is actually using the right type of sizing, so using relative sizing or sizing of fill, because anytime we have fixed sizing, when you actually change that, it's always going to stay at that fixed size. So if you make your screen smaller, that sizing is going to tend to play up later on. But hopefully you took a bit away in terms of watching me make a page responsive in Framer. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want more Framer tutorials just like it, consider subscribing to the channel because we're putting out new Framer videos every single week. Now, if you're interested in mastering Framer, like truly mastering it, feel free to check out my Ultimate Framer Masterclass, which is my A to Z course teaching you everything you need to know to become a Framer expert. There's over 100 lessons, 10 hours of content, and you can even learn Framer in Framer with our plugin. But if you are interested in that, I'll leave the links down below. But until next time, I'll catch you later.